Is there drama at PSG yet again between Presnel Kimpembe and the Paris Saint-Germain management? Let's see. First thing on this is when Christophe Galtier, after the Paris Saint-Germain victory versus PSG, came out and said, "We decided at the start of the season that Kylian Mbappe should be the second captain. He deserves to have this armband when Marquinhos is absent." Later on, Presnel Kimpembe went to Instagram and posted this. "Over the past few hours, I've been able to hear and read a lot about myself. Therefore, I wish to make things clear to avoid spreading false information about me. I was not made aware of this decision. This is completely false. That said, I will always respect the decisions of the club." This was because some of the reports came out which stated that Presnel Kimpembe had been informed about the removing of his vice-captain role. Later on, L'Equipe posted, "Kimpembe and Galtier explained themselves this morning. The player said he reacted to what he read on the internet. Galtier admitted to having expressed himself badly and that in reality, there were 4 vice-captains with Ramos, Mbappe and Marco Verratti. The incident is now closed." More news came out by Le Parisien. Confirmation: Presnel Kimpembe, Marco Verratti, Kylian Mbappe, Sergio Ramos are the rotating vice-captains behind Marquinhos. Galtier, this group of 5 players remains a privileged relay and he consults them on various topics, showcasing that they are the alphas, the leader of this team. More news about Presnel Kimpembe. For the past few months, Atletico Madrid have been attentive to the situation of Presnel Kimpembe. The Spanish club could return to the charge this summer. Inter Milan really like the profile of Presnel Kimpembe and he is on the shortlist for Inter in the summer. If nothing happens by January 31st, it would be a situation to follow for next summer. And lastly, it is not impossible that Kylian Mbappe will become the captain of PSG next season. So, let me summarize everything. So what happened is Christophe Galtier after the game came out and said Mbappe is the vice-captain. Kylian Mbappe is the vice-captain of Paris Saint-Germain. And Kimpembe saw that, and it was reported by some reports that Kimpembe had been told by the Paris Saint-Germain management that he was no longer the vice-captain, and he took it to Instagram and said all of that. In my opinion, that's what a 15-year-old girl does. Listen, Paris Saint-Germain, if it was true, if everything was true, if he was no longer the vice-captain, Kimpembe, like a man, goes to discuss with the board, with the club, not on Instagram like a 15-year-old girl, because then he's talking from an emotional perspective. He wants support. "Oh, Kimpembe, they mistreated you." Listen, if this all was true, and if it's still true, Paris Saint-Germain are definitely wrongdoing. They started all of this. They should not have done this without telling Kimpembe about it. But Kimpembe doing this, you're just putting more oil on the fire. You can't be behaving like this. If you want to be the vice-captain, and as soon as you hear something bad about yourself, you go to Instagram and cry about it. Exactly, that's what a 15-year-old girl does, not the supposed vice-captain of Paris Saint-Germain. Completely embarrassing from Paris Saint-Germain and Presnel Kimpembe in this situation. But luckily, everything is sorted now. Galtier explained himself. I do still believe that Kylian Mbappe is the vice-captain, but Galtier said that, to fix the situation. And I'm not 100% sure. It really doesn't matter because Marquinhos will play most games, so vice-captain isn't really that important. But Kimpembe, I want to come to you. If you want to be the vice-captain, you have to deserve it, you have to earn it, and you have to show for it. Kylian Mbappe in that French national team final, he was screaming at the top of his lungs, more than the manager of the France national team, more than the captain Hugo Lloris. If anyone's deserving of that vice-captain, it's between Kylian Mbappe and Marco Verratti. Kimpembe, why are you crying? You've been injured for a long time. You've been inconsistent for 8 seasons now at Paris Saint-Germain. And the first thing you do here is go and complaining whilst you're injured. Completely embarrassing. But with those reports linking Presnel Kimpembe to Atletico Madrid and Inter Milan, please come for him. 40 million, 45 million, we accept. Good deal. Bye-bye Kimpembe, because this is completely embarrassing by Kimpembe. And as Fabrice Hawks tweeted, it is not impossible to see Kylian Mbappe as captain next season. And listen, as I said, for me it's between Marco Verratti and Kylian Mbappe. I'm all for it. I think Marquinhos is deservedly maybe should be removed as the captain because he's not playing as a captain. Sadly, those are for some stuff that has happened, you know, the Brazil stuff, the game against Real Madrid. But listen, a man gotta do what a man gotta do. And the Paris Saint-Germain management need to give the captain's armband to the player with the most leadership, to the player that can motivate the players around him, because the captain is really important. I know that the captain armband doesn't really matter that much nowadays, especially, and Mbappe can still be a leader without that captain's armband. Same goes for Kimpembe, Verratti and Marquinhos. But I just want to end this. Kimpembe and the Paris Saint-Germain board, completely embarrassing. Paris Saint-Germain should definitely have told Kimpembe about this beforehand, and Kimpembe should definitely not have gone out as a 15-year-old girl and started crying. You're completely embarrassing the club. Same goes for the club. Both are in the wrongdoing here, but Kimpembe acted like a child. Kimpembe acted like a girl, emotionally. And you're supposed to be the vice captain? You're supposed to represent this beautiful club? Completely embarrassing. Please. First offer, let him leave. That was it from PSG. That was my thoughts on the so-called Kimpembe situation. Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think? Who is in the wrongdoing? For me, both are in the wrongdoing. But I have more questions for Presnel Kimpembe, because the way he did it, shameful. Shameful behavior. That was it. Make sure to like this video. Subscribe to the PSGINT YouTube channel for daily Paris Saint-Germain content. And as usual, allez, allez. Allez, Paris.